The name N stands for Namyang, home to Hyundai Motor Company's global R&D headquarters in Korea since 1995. But N also stands for the Nürburgring, home to a European test center where the N models were further developed and tested. The close connection between Namyang and the Nürburgring created the foundation for N, the goal being to deliver driving enjoyment. Both locations play a crucial role in developing, testing, and perfecting the responsive handling and vigorous acceleration of our N models. The N logo also resembles the chicane of a racetrack, the tight N curve where the skills of the driver and the balance of the car are rigorously proven. This reflects that our N models are agile vehicles that are fun to drive and represent the ultimate driving experiences, anywhere, including racetracks. When is an engineer finished? The answer is never. Because you can always make it better. Always. My name is Tyrone Johnson. I'm the Director for Vehicle Development here at HMHTC, Hyundai Motor Europe Technical Center, responsible for all the Hyundai brand development here in Europe to customize the cars, adapt them for the European market. So here at HMHTC, we have a dedicated N group that works only on N vehicles, future N products. And they begin with lots of virtual development, simulation work, to then help the designers that are also in the N group that design the parts that have to go in the prototypes. And then once the prototypes are available, we have suspension experts, we have tuning experts, we have tire and wheel people, we have control systems, ESC systems, traction control, launch control systems, brakes systems. That all is contained within the N group itself. But at the rest of HMHTC, we also have contributions from NVH, also from brakes in other areas, some suspension contribution, and we can't forget the central part of every car, the engine and the transmission, which is also calibrated and developed here at HMHTC. And then the first thing that customers always see is the car itself, and of course design. N design is also here at HMHTC. So at Hyundai, we have a very robust development process throughout the years it takes to develop a new car, a new platform, and N models follow that process also. What's unique about N is that we take the specific performance systems, the systems that are really geared to meeting their characteristics that we want to achieve in N, and we dive into these systems very, very deep and develop them just that little bit more to really maximize them. And a crucial part of that is the work that we do with the Nürburgring on the Nordschleife that really challenges the car and brings out all the errors that a car might have so that we can fix them to get them really to the maximum level. We have to remember that Hyundai N was born out of participation in WRC, the World Rally Championship. And there's always a two-way relationship between motorsports and production cars. It's always a constant give and take, with the elements of each type of car being used to improve the next. Everything we learn from motorsports is fed back into the R&D process, and we use these learnings for the next car in the N range or the next performance project. And what we look for is not necessarily the fastest car, because many brands target only the highest performance. We're looking for fun to drive. We have a metric internally. Instead of RPM, we use BPM, so beats per minute. How much the customer gets excited driving the car, how much emotion the customer is able to give to the car, to his driving experience. And that really is our main focus. The three pillars that we try to achieve are everyday sports car, a corner rascal, and racetrack capability in the end products. And if the customer feels those three pillars while he's driving our cars, then we've been successful, and that's what we strive for. One of the things that we've added now is a new DCT 8-speed transmission, which really adds a completely new character to the car from previous models. It includes also 3 modes: the power shift, the grin shift, and the track sense shift, which really adds the complete N character to the cars. N brand, being a performance car, is always a little bit of a special challenge to make the performance a little bit closer to the limit. And so for an engineer, it's always a pleasure to be challenged in this way, to find yet that little more improvement, that little bit more on the edge of a performance car, so that the customers can really feel the car on the road. And we test everything on the car right from the beginning. the engines, transmission, the suspension systems, steering systems, those kinds of things. Depending on what's available in the first prototype, everything gets tested immediately. We have a very extensive, exhaustive testing program that we have on each prototype phase to make sure that we're really optimizing all the systems. This is again about diving very deep into the various systems and optimizing them as much as possible. And this is really sort of an iterative process. If we optimize the suspension, then we have to adapt the steering. We change the steering, we have to adapt the suspension, or maybe some other parts of the car, the wheels and tires of the car. It always gets better and better and better as we go through the development process. And then we start over again in the next prototype phase, taking the knowledge from the previous phase. The next prototype phase may have some additional systems that the previous phase didn't have, and we begin again until we come to a final product. And if we don't meet that, then we have to keep working. For an N car, really everything is important. There's nothing that's not important. So the driver experience really is a sum of many different feelings and performance levels of the car, including sound. Everything that the car does in terms of acceleration, steering, the corner carving, the rev matching, including the sound, really influences how the customer is satisfied. So sound is really a very crucial part of the N character development, and we spend quite a bit of effort in making sure the sound is just right on N vehicles, because it contributes really to the experience that the customer has in the car. The i30N was hugely successful. The i20N, early feedback that we're getting, will be equally as successful. But then there's a customer segment that wants a slightly different car, appreciates all the N characteristics that we've been able to achieve and deliver. But this customer wants a slightly different car with perhaps a little bit more roominess, perhaps a little bit more entering and exiting the car, perhaps a higher driving stance than some of the others. And so the Kona really fits that precisely. And so we will include all the things that we learned in i30 and i20 into the Kona N, and we're sure it will be equally successful. Hyundai is a company that's well known for high technology products. So we really offer a lot of products across the full spectrum, and since N is always technology driven, I'm sure we'll be part of the future technology also.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Eichler and I'm responsible for the vehicle dynamics of the N brand models at the Hyundai Motor Europe Technical Center in Rüsselsheim, Germany. Today I have the pleasure to present this all-new Hyundai i20N for you. It's the first B-segment hot hatch from Hyundai, and I can tell you it's really hot. It comes with a number of dedicated features for the ultimate fun-to-drive experience, like a launch control or a rev matching function. So let's check it out. So how does it feel to drive the i20N? Well, you really feel connected to the road, and it feels uncompromisingly sporty. For the development of the i20N, our target was to integrate the typical N DNA to a B-segment hot hatch. We started, again, with reinforcing the body. So it has additional welding spots, which gives a good basis for a proper suspension tuning. The suspension with the kinematics and springs, dampers, anti-roll bars, and especially the rear CTBA was completely reworked. The result is what you can feel on the road and on the racetrack. This car turns in really sharp, and it's very precise to drive, and it's uncompromisingly sporty. The thrilling vehicle dynamics of the i20N are supported by the mechanical limited slip differential, our N corner carving differential. It is applied in a way that it provides just enough traction when accelerating out of the corners, while guaranteeing enough agility for the i20N. Steering, of course, is very important in high-performance vehicles. So the steering system of the i20 was completely reworked for the i20N. It has a column-mounted power steering system with a motor that was being increased in its capacity to also fulfill the demands of a racetrack with high compressions and high forces being transmitted to the steering. So with this steering, you will always have enough power for every situation. And of course, the steering feel was carefully adapted so that we have the typical N DNA, which means you have a very precise on-center and a very linear torque build-up when steering into the corners. In order to guarantee perfect grip and balance, we also developed the tires together with Pirelli, so that they are specifically adapted to the i20N. By this, we reached a tremendous grip on high mu and on wet mu, and a very good steering precision. Of course, the brakes have been adapted as well. We have high-performance brakes with 320mm rotors on the front axle and performance brake pads. All tested thoroughly on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. The N grin control system of the i20N offers various drive modes, which can be activated either by pressing the buttons on the steering wheel or by pressing a dedicated drive mode button down here. So we offer an Eco mode, a normal mode, a sport mode, an N mode, and 2 free configurable custom modes. I can show you the custom modes in here. You can choose the responsiveness of the engine from normal to Sport Plus. You can configure the steering from normal to Sport or Sport Plus. The ESC mode from normal to Sport, or the dedicated off mode of the ESC system, which turns off the TCS and ESC completely. You can as well configure the rev matching function, how aggressive it should be, whether it is off if you do the heel and towing yourself, or you put it to normal, Sport or Sport Plus. Last but not least, the exhaust sound can also be chosen between normal, Sport and Sport Plus. With the engine in Sport Plus and the exhaust sound in Sport Plus, you will experience the full crackling sound of the exhaust system. Another racetrack feature is the launch control. You can activate it in the performance options. Here you can select the starting RPM for the launch control, so you can dial it down or up. For dry road, 4200 are quite okay, and you can activate it. Being in N mode, you simply have to press the clutch, first gear, then push the accelerator pedal and let the clutch go, and the traction control system will control the slip in the optimum way for the best traction. Another fun-to-drive feature of the i20N is the rev matching. You can very easily activate it by a dedicated button on the steering wheel. Just pressing it, you have the rev matching function active, and it will automatically adapt the engine rev to the gear that you are shifting to. So for example, before this corner we shift to the second gear, and there is no heel and towing necessary, and the engine rev will be adapted automatically. And a very nice feature, it also works from second to first gear, which is quite attractive on alpine roads. So when there's a curvy road ahead, that's the right terrain for the i20N. It's really sharp and it really attracts you to take every corner. It's so much fun. The engine, suspension and steering all fits really together for the pure driving pleasure.
The special thing about the N brand for me is the excitement and the thrill that I get each time when I get into the vehicle. It doesn't have to be on the racetrack. Also during the day, during my daily life, just picking up the kids from the school, for example. My name is Aşkın Kahraman and I'm the product manager of all-new i20 N at Hyundai Motor Europe. The all-new i20 N is a powerful hot hatch based on the all-new i20 and inspired by our motorsport involvement. It takes lots of technologies and inspirations to make it a real fun-to-drive car. Like the i30N, the all-new i20N is also developed with 3 development pillars. These are corner rascal, racetrack capability, and everyday sports car. i20N is also equipped with a lot of performance features. The first one that I can tell you is the N corner carving differential, a limited slip differential which optimizes the traction and allows the driver to drive much more sporty and agile, making the i20 a true corner rascal. Other motorsport-inspired features that we included in the i20N are electric sound generator, left foot braking calibration, brake pad veer indicator, and dedicated 18-inch Pirelli tires. The i20N is equipped with a turbocharged 1.6-liter flat-power engine. This is the first time we introduce this engine into a European model. This power unit generates 204 PS and 275 Nm of torque. The all-new i20N weighs only 1,190 kilos, which means the car has the best power-to-weight ratio in its segment. The car can accelerate from 0 to 100 within 6.2 seconds, and the top speed is 230 km per hour. The all-new i20N is equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission. Compared to the base car, this transmission is enhanced in order to cope with the high torque and RPM. We reinforced the transmission and also the clutch. We added carbon friction material between first and second gear. We redesigned the synchro stopper from third to sixth gear. And we also reduced the housing for reduced oil quantity. The all-new i20N is equipped with launch control for quick acceleration. N green control system enables the driver to select between 5 different modes. These modes are Eco, Normal, Sport, Custom, and N. The driver can customize engine sound, engine response, steering response, electronic stability control, and rev matching. Like the i30N, i20N is also equipped with a rev matching for sporty and smooth shifting. For fun and engaging sound experience, i20N offers exhaust afterburn sound and variable muffler control. The dedicated front seats ensures that the driver and the passenger are safe and comfortable at all times. The i20N is inspired by our WRC rallying heritage with uncompromising and powerful design. It also follows our new design identity, sensuous sportiness. Compared to the base model, the all-new i20N features aerodynamic form and dynamic design thanks to 10 mm lowered ground clearance. The front design of the i20N is dominated by the checkered flag design grille with N logo and large air intake for the turbo engine. The WRC-inspired rear spoiler enhances the downforce and ensures stability even at higher speeds. Other design highlights include full LED headlamps and darkened LED rear lights. The interior also has an optimized and high-performance look thanks to the performance blue accents and dedicated steering wheel and gear knob. The interior also features sport seats with integrated headrest. These are unique to all-new i20 N, which means they are not carried over from another N model. We also developed a unique user interface for the digital cluster and for the navigation screen. Hyundai N models are not only racetrack capable, but they are also a good companion during daily drive. The i20 N is equipped with Hyundai's SmartSense features, such as forward collision avoidance assist, city, pedestrian, and cyclist, intelligent speed limit assist, lane following assist, and blind spot detection warning. The all-new i20 N is also equipped with performance driving data system, which monitors and improves the driver's track skills. This feature saves and displays various driving information such as PS, torque, and turbo boost. It also comes with lap and acceleration timer. All these elements make the all-new i20 N a sporty, agile, and fun-to-drive car on all conditions and on all roads.